Growing up, it was always get married first, then buy a house. Gen Z is flipping that on the head.
And here's the crazy part. First-time homebuyers are the smallest slice of the market we've ever seen, and the average one is now over 40 years old.
So today, a generation is hacking their way into purchasing homes and how that changes.
This is Realty Talk. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast on the planet, Realty Talk. We're very excited to be here today. To my left, we have the queen of the closing table.
I really feel that way sometimes, like every now and then when I'm closing deals, I'm like, you know what? I am the queen of the closing table.
I was going to go in a different direction. I was going to say the queen of the closing table and the queen of cutting large ribbon openings for new offices.
Yes. There's going to be 3 this month, so we get to do it again.
And I am your other host, Paul Fix It All. And I didn't have to fix the scissors that cut the ribbon at a grand opening.
We tag teamed that. Everyone was like, why did you need Paul's help to cut the ribbon? I'm like, well, the scissors were heavy. It was like, you never know. You don't want to have an embarrassing moment where it doesn't cut.
So we talked about this after. I'd done more of those like breaking ground things where there's a shovel, but I'd never done the big scissor wood cutting. And in movies, it looks oddly simple, like the ribbon just cuts the first time. Yeah. But sometimes when you're wrapping a present, like ribbon doesn't just cut very easily. Like it goes in between the scissors.
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but that wouldn't, though these large scissors were they were really efficient. Cut first time.
It worked well.
Yeah. Sorry. So for the listeners that haven't seen our socials, Innovate launched a new office, and we had a very lively group of people that came to the office. So there were like 85 or 100 people that came. Mm-hmm. I don't want to offend anybody, but there were, because I don't remember all the names, but I mean, there was like a potential senator, and there was like the mayor, and there was...
It was a big deal in Calabasas for sure.
People.
Yeah.
And not being from Calabasas, people would walk up and be like, oh, I'm so-and-so from this place. And I would be like, awesome. I didn't really know how to interact, but they did a really good job. The city of Calabasas does a great job inviting new business.
That was amazing. Yeah, they I think they had as many RSVPs as we did, if not maybe even a little more. Like they did a great job of getting us out there, and the music. I mean, we have to talk about the music.
Well, I first have to publicly apologize, because what I was referencing is that a gentleman came up and shook my hand and said his name, and I'm like, I have no idea who this is. And apparently it was the mayor and about to be a guy that runs for the Senate. I'm like, hey, cool, I'm Paul. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. But if you're listening and watching, which I hope you are, I apologize. You have a great city.
Yeah. Yeah. Things are going well.
Yeah. But the music.
Yeah. The music was so good. If any of our listeners are in the area, we're doing it again this Thursday. Oh, this might air after, but man, if you can get to Westlake and get to hear it, it was definitely a hit. I had great feedback.
Yeah, to spoil it, there was a guitarist and a saxophone player, and one of those artists used to play with Rod Stewart.
Yeah, I think maybe both of them have played with him. A little bit of
on tour.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll be very cautious, and we won't name names or even like where this person works in our brokerage. But I believe there are people in the brokerage that don't know who Rod Stewart is.
Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt. It was bad enough when she didn't know Ferris Bueller.
Said she. So we're going to cut it in half.
But when she was like, oh, Rod Stewart. And I'm like, you don't know who Rod Stewart is, do you? And she's like, nope, no, I don't. So speaking of Gen Z, that eases us right in. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, traditionally, I think what we're going to talk about today, before I think we can end with a market update, because we do have to talk about the market, but that was just such a great segue. I had to take it. Historically, you've got the traditional path of getting married and buying a house together, and it just seems like that's not happening, kind of dead. And Gen Z they're buying homes alone, maybe with friends. We've seen parents buying quite a bit and just rewriting the rules a little bit. So, yeah, and all while first time home buyers are almost vanishing as well. So, yeah, it seems that the trend is houses before spouses. Um,
By the way, we just termed that. It's our term. You keep it.
Copyright?
Social media.
Yeah. Houses before spouses. So buying property is happening before, not after. And they're kind of going at it alone. So they're buying at double the millennial rate. And it seems like what's driving this is independence, not waiting for a partner.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you think of millennials. They actually had a pretty opportune time to purchase post major recession.
Yeah. 2008, 2009.
I
Yeah.
think if you look at the macro data points, most markets were down, 25, 30, 40%. I mean, there were some markets like with a lot of inventory, the Phoenixes, the Las Vegases, where values were down 40, 45%.
Yeah.
So you would think if you were, a younger millennial, or I guess it would be an older millennial, younger,
Elder millennial. I don't like the term, but I've embraced it.
an elder millennial, at that time you would have been a younger person buying, but it was an incredible window of time to purchase.
Yes.
And they didn't necessarily do that. I think that was probably due to a lot of uncertainty and just, I don't know. Maybe there's less money. Actually, when you think about it, it kind of is logical because boomers have the vast majority of wealth, by demographic.
Yeah.
And now boomers are starting to pass away, which means that wealth's translating back down to millennials and Gen Zs. So I guess the moral of the story is, there's, I guess, two vantage points. You could think, man, it would be easier as a millennial to buy post major recession, or you could be thinking, man, it's a lot easier for a Gen Z to buy because there's more cash flowing from older generations and transfer, or that transfer of wealth, or it's just started to begin.
Yeah.
But I mean, those two age demographics are just wildly different as a whole. I mean, we don't need to get into all
I've
the
been
data.
told they don't like each other, but if you're on social media, I feel like you get the vibe that they don't like each other. I think social media has kind of like inflated that a bit. Because I feel like if you're actually communicating, person to person, there's no hate. There's no love loss there. But
So we probably need to look this up. What are the actual ages of millennials and Gen Zs? Is that
I feel like I think we need to look because I get this wrong because I am an elder millennial claiming it. 30 to 45
is
is
a
millennial.
okay? So 1981 to 1996
Yeah.
is a millennial,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then younger than that is Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. So,
it's kind of
you know
interesting.
what I will say though, what I've seen, I think we've talked about it on here before. So I am seeing a lot of parents and grandparents buying the houses. I'm not seeing as much of like the creative kind of co-signing situation outside of parents. Unless a lender is bringing that to the table in order to be, to get a deal done. I'm not seeing that very often, but I really am seeing a ton, especially out here, of like parents are buying these houses for their kids.
Yeah,
So,
I'd love feedback from all the lenders out there because as some of our listeners know, we have a private lending arm in the business, and I sit into investment committee meetings every day of the week. And generally, when we see in the underwriting of a file a gift letter, we assume that is actually just a short-term loan
yeah.
from somebody like, hey, mom, dad, cousin, uncle, whatever. Hey, here's a gift. You get to keep it.
Yeah.
But on the back end of that, it has to truly just be like, hey,
It's,
once you refire, once you've done this thing, you got to give me the money back.
yeah.
I wonder if that's how every lender views the gift letter.
I don't hear that. I don't hear that as much on the, with the families, I could definitely see that when it's like an investor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't see it as much. And it's not even necessarily like a gift letter. It's oftentimes like
They're just buying
they're
it.
doing the whole thing. Yeah.
That's why I was bringing that up. I mean, I
Yeah.
think in the past it would be kind of like
Yeah.
it just separated. What I've seen, at least on deals that I'm selling, I've seen mom and dad coming in, buying a house for said buyer,
Yeah.
but they're all three going on title, or in the event that maybe there's a spouse or whatnot involved,
Yeah.
then 4 people are going on title, but
Yeah.
mom and dad are bringing all the money forward.
Right.
It's not like, hey, we're going to give them a gift to help them make this happen. It's just, hey, we're going to be a cash buyer. We're stroking a check for this whole purchase and it's done,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. Actually, I wonder what that's going to do in, call it 20, 30 years when moms and dads start to pass away, because technically that would be a taxable event.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad are on title from the day of the purchase
Yeah.
and they bring the funds forward.
Yeah.
Then that would be a taxable event and it would reset property taxes,
Interesting.
right? It would be
Yeah.
a bona fide title change,
Yeah.
and that would reset the interest or sorry, the property tax basis for the younger generations.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is if you are a millennial or a Gen Z buyer and mom and dad are buying your house, you should be smart about the way that this happens, because down the road you might have a large tax bill.
Yes. Consult your tax guy.
CPA. That is not us.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's definitely happening. But we're also hearing, I haven't seen it, but we are hearing that friends are buying houses together, which,
How does that work?
yeah. So it says nearly half of Gen Z and millennial women say they'd buy a home with a friend. About 32% of Gen Z are considering it. So I don't know. I feel like that's a huge, I mean, that's like going into business together, right? Like it's,
Yeah, but it's like I feel like it's even more complicated than that, though,
yeah.
because a business is, you know, when you start a business together, it's like, hey, let's go in, and equity, the way you start the business, you buy the shares, right? So if
Yeah.
it's 50-50, you buy half of the equity. And then when the business is losing money, then there's a capital call and everyone contributes. Or when the business is making money, then whatever your equity piece is, you go and get. In a house, I feel like it's so complicated because let's say 2 people are buying a house together. Most houses don't have like 2 junior suites.
Right.
So are you splitting the cash, but then one person gets the primary suite and then the other person gets
Yeah.
like extra room in the pantry? Or like, how does this
And
negotiation
you're
happen?
living with your business partner too. Like
Right.
I feel like there's that as well, where it's like super stressful and
Or
yeah,
one person gets a promotion and wants to move, the other
Yeah.
person doesn't want to sell. Like, how
yeah,
do you unravel these deals? I mean, you have to just sell the properties?
yeah, yeah. I think it's important you definitely talk through those
Hmm.
unknowns up front, but yeah, I mean, people are getting creative. Median house price here in Orange County is or in Southern California is 900,000, and not everyone can see themselves getting there right now, so they're doing whatever they can to make it work.
Well,
So,
I mean, maybe the feud between millennials and Gen Z buyers or Gen Z people, whatever they want to
Gen
call
Z
these Gen
people.
Zers, maybe the feud is real
You
because,
just made yourself sound so old.
yeah,
If there was a Gen Zer here, they would totally judge you.
right. So maybe the feud is real because they would judge what I just said, but then I'm judging the way they're buying houses. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
how are you thinking about the master and the
Yeah.
second
We need
room
to
and the
know.
third room or the pantry space? Like they can't. It's not like you just cut it down the half, like the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very different.
Yeah.
So basically, what we believe on Realty Talk is that millennials are just a little more logical and a little bit more sophisticated. I'm
Yeah.
joking, of course,
Yeah.
only because we're both millennials.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe Gen Zers have it all figured out, but
Maybe.
53% of Gen Z buyers are buying alone,
Mm.
which is
Yeah.
double what millennials were buying.
Yeah.
That's probably just a fundamental of like what millennials didn't buy a lot of houses early.
Yeah.
And now a lot of Gen Zs are buying, so it looks like a higher percentage. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to
And
dig into
it's
that.
interesting. Yeah, I feel like, I do feel like the couple thing. I mean, I think we've talked about that before. It's like things have just kind of changed a little bit as far as like the way you start your family and buy the house, and things just aren't as traditional as they used to be, and I
Yeah.
think people have kind of embraced that mentality, and especially Gen Z has,
Well, the
so
the last data point that I would bring up during this is the average age of a first-time home buyer in America now has gone all the way up to 40.
yeah.
So that is a an older millennial.
An elder millennial.
Elder millennial. Elder is the correct way of saying this.
I think you may too be an elder millennial. You are at
Yes,
the top end of that as well.
I
So
I am, but that's a crazy stat when you say,
yeah,
and it's the record low at
yeah,
20%.
yeah,
So 20% of transactions are first-time home buyer transactions, and the average age of that is 40.
yeah.
So, I mean, is everything in life just getting later for younger generations? Like,
Yeah, I think everything in life is more expensive. And I think that,
mm,
consumers are kind of adjusting to that. And as you said, I mean, millennials did have a great opportunity. And the people that, I'm very lucky to have, transacted in that space.
yeah,
And the people that did, I think, are in a really great position. But, it was also a major bummer for the millennials that did buy, and then they were the ones that also, bought too soon, I guess I
right
would
before
say,
its
right
time.
before. So there was a little bit of that too. So it's like, you either got really lucky or you did not.
I
So
had a friend, I remember this vividly, that bought in like 2006, and bought this $800,000 house with a pool and all this nice stuff. And I think in 2009 there was a short sale at like 405, which was
yeah.
like legitimately half
Yeah.
or less than half of the value.
Yeah.
Just like, holy smokes.
Yeah, that was the worst.
Yeah.
So, there's that. It's
Mm.
like, I think some of those millennials are like, you know what?
So we
So,
actually understand. Well, all we're really doing is unpacking the feud between millennials and
yeah,
Gen Zers, because Gen Zers look at millennials and they're like, "Man, you had this opportunity and you missed it."
yeah,
And maybe some elder millennials are looking at Gen Zers saying, "Well, you didn't lose half of your money or all
yeah,
of your equity."
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah,
They
it's
have no
interesting.
idea.
Yeah.
But okay, well, I think we can wrap this with a Homes Gone Wild segment
Let's do it.
because everyone's always looking forward to that. So this is Paul reading a story submitted by, oh no. No, we can't. I can't. No, we're not. This is, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for including who
Uh,
this was submitted by.
I have to get. I'm not gonna. Okay, I won't say it, but I'm going to at least allude to what this is, because our viewers deserve to understand the truth.
We
On
believe
this,
in transparency.
yes, on this week's segment of Homes Gone Wild, we now have. Is this a title or is this just the?
The
I
story.
think there's a title to the story, and it's just the story. This is submitted by somebody that it said "I so," and then there's a few other words behind it. Just let your like dirty mind and creativity go to a dark place, and
Yeah.
that's what this person submitted their name as.
Yeah.
Uh, so I wanted to say it so bad. So I finally finished 6+ months of renovations and rent out this house. Nice detached place in a major city, front and backyard, 2-car garage. The tenants don't have cars, so I rent the garage out separately to a guy who just wants storage space. Easy money, right? Friday night, my neighbors call me. There's a truck in the driveway with live goats in the back, and they think it's been sitting there a full day in the winter. I look it up. It's illegal to have goats in the city, so you need a farm. I messaged the garage rent. I love this, by the way.
This is great. Yeah.
I messaged the garage renter, "Hey, if those are your goats, please get them to a farm." He says, "Okay, cool, handled." Except Saturday morning, neighbor calls again. The garage is wide open and there are goats running loose through the neighborhood. We call the city. They tell us it's a $500 fine per goat, but they'll give us 48 hours. So my wife and I are getting dressed, frantically Googling, what do you do with goats? Calling farms and butchers, all closed. It's the weekend.
Sure.
Farms and butchers. Two drastically different
Yeah.
angles here. We we pull up, and there are 4 police cars out front. Animal control had already rounded up 7 goats. Okay, at least the animals are safe. Then we look in the garage. The guy had turned my brand new clean garage into a full-on slaughterhouse. Heads and body parts everywhere. A pile of pelts, buckets of blood, bloody tools, a container of meat in the back of the car. Turns out he was advertising halal goat meat on Facebook and having people come to my house for pickup.
No.
The cleaning companies I called, most said they couldn't touch it. One referred me to a crime scene cleaner, and that's how passive real estate works.
Oh man, that is a rough story.
Oh man.
Wow.
Okay, so I have to work in reverse here. For our listeners that don't understand, I grew up in Utah, and I like to hunt.
Yes.
I've gone along stretches of my life where I haven't eaten red meat that I didn't harvest myself. We don't, hunters usually don't say the word, killed it. Say harvested. You go out and you harvest this animal. But this whole cleaning thing, it's actually kind of simple. If you're butchering something and your hands get, messy, it's kind of difficult to get it off. Diet Coke does the trick. Diet Coke cleans everything. If you're fishing, the smell from fish.
Doesn't that scare you a little bit? Like,
that's why I don't drink Diet Coke.
yeah.
I'm not going to put that in my body.
There's no way that I would ever want to drink Diet Coke if it cleans.
You know what else Diet Coke can do? If your car batteries are like oxidized, you pour it on the battery, like the little metal thing on the top of the battery, and it just dissolves all of that acid and everything.
Insane. People put that in their bodies.
Do you think it's a good time to tell our listeners that we're officially sponsored by Diet Coke? And that this is our first episode that they assume to pay us on?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Does it all. Okay. Well, that's a disturbing story. And it was very unexpected. It started with
based on the name?
Cute goats. And no, the name was strange. Didn't also connect with the story, but yeah, I'm like, oh, they got some goats there. And then it's like they're murdered in the garage.
I didn't know where that was headed. Yeah, like you have a trailer full of goats and then they're just gone.
And then
it's a big city in the winter.
Yeah. Well, that's a strange one. But funny enough, we were just talking with our agents about goats because one of our agents has a fantastic goat ate my homework story.
Yeah.
But and then we also learned that another one of our agents had her toe
bitten by a pig.
Bitten by a pig in
California.
In California.
Both of these are California examples.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really fully believe the goat ate my listing agreement thing until the story was told. It was like, okay, well, maybe it actually happened.
It happened. It's
pretty wild.
He said there was like hay that like led from indoor space into the house and like kind of led the goat into
Goats are pretty smart, and they're nice animals. Like, have you seen the like little goat yoga?
Yeah.
Like you go do yoga and the goats like jump all over and stuff. So maybe the goat eating your listing agreement, maybe it was just a yoga goat.
They were just trying to help.
Yeah.
They were like, here, sign this, dad or mom.
The other agent that got bit by a pig, I just assumed that was just an angry pig.
Yeah.
And pigs can be angry.
That's rude. Yeah. There's no excuse for the pig bite. So, okay. Well, we learned a lot today. So, with that, I mean, I think we can just close it up with market's pretty consistent. Rates are hovering around 6.5.
Yep.
Things are moving that should move, I think. And we just will continue to express that it is actually a decent time to buy for buyers because they really do have the upper hand right now. So
yeah. I mean, it's late summer, and normally we would say this market might speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. Like when we look backwards, we don't know for sure until maybe 90 days from now. But when we look back at the summer selling season, it's probably going to be a lot less transactions than you would have anticipated. So hence why buyers have the leverage. I mean, that was certainly the case in the spring.
Yeah.
Transactions were down 40-50%. We had a lot of people sitting on the sidelines saying, hey, I'm going to wait for rates to drop and all this stuff. Like, we think later in the year is going to be a better time to buy. But if you were buying in the spring, it was one of the worst spring selling seasons ever.
Yeah.
And so if you went in aggressive, if somebody needed to sell, you could have gotten a great deal.
Yeah.
So I think we probably are going to see Gen Z buyers kicking themselves for not coming into the market right now in a year.
Yeah. Full circle.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. If you haven't done it, hit the subscribe button on the screen. Helps out a lot. Share this with your friends, family, neighbors. Share it with anybody other than an illegal goat slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
We don't.
Not okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. See you next time.